We live. All right. Hello, Mark. How you doing today?
Good. How are you doing today, Margaret?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you so much. I appreciate you today. Um, so, Mark, we're going to have a conversation today about the power of connection and collaboration. Okay. And
Sure.
so, what I want to do is give a few minutes here to see if we're going to have anybody to come in. So, in the meantime, Mark, please introduce yourself.
Well, my name is Mark Tavener. I own a company called Stellar Remodel and Repair. And I say company, it's just me. I own a job. I don't really own a business. If I'm not working, I'm not making money. And it's been that way. I enjoy working by myself. It gives me the freedom to uh, just take my time to do the job right. There's no one hounding me. There's no one writing me. I know the steps to take in each project, and I do the steps in order to complete the job. And it's worked out for me so far. And I
So,
keep, go ahead.
so tell me, how long you been in business for yourself?
I've been in construction since 1994, a little over 30 years. Um, Mostly just doing my own thing. Uh, I built a cabin. Me and my wife did a homestead out in Prince William Sound, and we built two cabins. One we built from the trees on the land. We cut the trees down. We dragged them. We milled them, and we built a little 10 by 12 cabin. And then the following year, and this is 15 miles by boat outside of Valdez, and um, we built that one a stick house, and we had to haul everything from Valdez, Anchorage to Valdez, Valdez out to the down to the boat, and the boat out to the place, and had to haul it all uphill. And so I've been in construction really since then, 94, 95. Um, and I learned by building two cabins.
Awesome.
I mean, from start to finish, they were wired. I had running water. I had a micro hydroelectric system. It was pretty nice. And so
Awesome.
I've been doing. I've worked for several construction companies, a window installation place, a remodel, tailored restoration, restoring, water damage and fire damage, and then I've just been on my own, just taking jobs. And you advertise for a little while, and then word of mouth. Many years ago, I started just on Facebook and Craigslist, and I haven't had to advertise for probably 10 or 12 years. It's just word of mouth, and other jobs come up.
Well,
It's
that's
real.
awesome. That's truly awesome, Mark. So, how did you come up with the name of Stellar
Um,
Construction?
that's I don't know. I, I honestly don't know. It popped in my head. Stellar, like the Stellar J. It's not ER, it's AR, so it's stellar. I'm stellar. I mean, you've said it over and over. You are stellar. You've called me stellar.
Absolutely, absolutely, because you are what you think, right?
Correct. As a man
Right.
thinketh, so it will be for him.
Yeah. So, when you think of that, that thinks I think of quality of work.
Okay. I agree. Yeah. I tried. I'm not the best, but I take pride in my work, and I have to sell it to the homeowner, and I want to sell a good product. So I take pride in my work. If I can see it, they can see it. If I and I've done this, I've said, well, they'll never see that, and unfortunately, the first thing they when they walk in the room, that's where they go. That thing you said they wouldn't see, they'll see it. So you do it right. You do it right the first time, and you'll do it again.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's one of the things that gravitated me towards you when you came out to install the TV on the wall. Just from the fact that you had your cloths, to put in place. You had all your necessary tools. You asked, okay, where's your broom? You were just so organized. I was just in awe.
I it didn't start out that way. I learned that over time. I learned how to be have a neat work area and clean up afterwards. It says a lot. Um,
It does.
Oftentimes, I mean, I started in construction. I'm working for just cleaning up construction sites, and there was a trim carpenter who was had the contract for another company. He was a subcontractor. Saw my work, saw what I was, saw how I really just was doing the right thing every time. And he said, "Look, hey, you look. Why don't I give you a chance? Why don't you come work for me?" So he gave me a chance to do finish work, trim carpentry, and that's kind of where it blossomed. It was just one guy seeing me work and said, "That guy, I'm going to give that guy a chance." And here I am today.
Okay. Okay. Well, Mark, tell us a little bit about your. I guess you did tell us about your leadership journey, but talk to me about some of the challenge that you faced and how you've overcome them.
Um, Challenges. Well, sometimes I think my spiritual gifts are eating and sleeping. So I've had to overcome those. It really is about the pride in your work and taking care of business. And if you don't take care of your business won't take care of you. So as far as the challenges go, I've had lots of challenges, and most of them have been not having someone there to say this is how we do it and this is why we do it this way. I've made all the mistakes. I mean, every mistake you can think of in construction, I've made a version of it and had to go back and redo it, or hope that it didn't blossom into something even worse down the line. Uh, but I've learned from those. Okay, now I'll never do that again. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna, I learned. Okay, now you really got to do it this way, and so you do it that way. But I've made the mistakes, and I've paid the price. You go back and you do it again. I mean, having to go back to a job, you lose a day. Really, I mean, if you have to go back and fix something, you've lost a day. I mean, really. So,
So,
yeah, go ahead.
so talk to me about who is your ideal customer.
The ideal customer. Um, oh, that's a deep one. There, you learn to you learn to flow with everything. You've got to be gracious, and you've got to be empathetic, and you got to understand what they're dealing with. You're not dealing with it, but you have to understand. Okay, they're dealing with this. They've had this problem for a long time, or whatever. So they're all ideal, really. They called me, so I mean, that's the first plus. And I'm
Okay.
gonna I'm gonna I'm gonna sell them a good product, and I'm gonna do right by whatever they need done. So
Okay.
is at the end of the day, it's one that pays the bill. I mean, I did the work. An ideal customer is not going to complain. They're not going to get on Facebook and complain. Eh, An ideal customer will say, "Look, I appreciate that. I didn't like this or didn't like that." You usually don't get that, if that makes sense.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And one that will appreciate what you did.
Okay. And I would suspect that that would be the majority of your customers.
There, yeah. There's only. I mean, I could count on almost one hand customers that weren't that good, but I don't complain about it. I you move on. You have every sort of people out there, and you learn to deal with everybody, and you're always kind. You're always you always do the right thing, even if it hurts.
Mm, wow. That says a lot.
I've done jobs where In fact, there was a job I did that really a wealthy person. I was remodeling his bathroom. This was like 2 years ago. I was putting in a new tub. I was doing his surround, tiling his surround, and I was putting in a new tub. And uh, as I was putting in, there was a stress on the tub, and a little piece of the porcelain popped off. Now it was just right on the corner, and I could have installed it, put the tile down, and a bead of silicone would have covered it. But I went and bought him a new tub out of my own pocket.
Okay.
And, I made the mistake. It was a stress that probably it didn't need, but I went and bought him a new tub out of my own pocket. He had plenty of money, but it was the principle of the thing. He didn't damage it. He bought the tub and he brought it home, and so I went and bought him a new tub. That's just one example. There's been a lot of those where I screwed up, and it come out of my pocket. It'll teach you next time to be a little bit more careful.
Well, that's really good to know because we all have made mistakes, and I know I make them as well. Even at work. So you
Oh,
know, yeah. But the valuable lessons that I have learned from those mistakes, that is key because I write those mistakes down on a piece of paper, and then I'll go back through later on and I'll like, okay, I remember I made this mistake, this mistake, this mistake. So the next document won't have that, you know, because if I don't find a mistake, my supervisor will.
I'm probably gonna see it some,
Guarantee, okay?
and then
So yeah. Um,
and me, um, what I didn't do right. That's why I try to do everything right by the step. And if I can't sell it to me, I'm not going to try to sell it to you.
okay. Well, talk to me. You and I've been working with each other for a while. So, what made this particular job different than the others, if it is?
Um, just it's not any different. I mean, I approach each job the same with the same attitude. I have a job to do, and I'm going to do it well. I mean, some of the steps and some of the like let's say I'll just take an example: sheetrock. It's not my favoriteest thing to do, um, but I do it, and I've gotten really good at it. Not as good as
Yes, you
somebody,
have.
not as somebody who does it every day, but um, I like installing things and I like building things. I like it, the flooring, the trim, um, the washer, the dryer, the kitchen that I built you, the laundry rooms that I built you. That's fun. That's fun work. I enjoy it. I sometimes I say, "Man, I can't believe I'm getting paid for this." It's enjoyable. it's just it's in me.
And what I have to say is that your work, it's like Michelangelo. It's just quality because I brought Marge over here that lives across the street, and she said, "Oh my God, this is beautiful," and I'm going to share these pictures, before and after pictures, with my subscribers. And your work is stellar for real, and I just brought tears to my eyes because I'm like, "Oh my God, this living space down here is better than where I'm actually living."
Uh, well,
you know.
we'll
Hi,
get to
Tom.
the other one.
Yeah, so it's just been amazing. You came in, you installed the TV on the wall, right? And you and I had an instant connection, you
Yeah,
know?
that was unique.
And it was just amazing to me because it was more than just about a TV. I can't see you.
Oh,
Um, okay, yeah, I can't see you. Yeah.
what?
So it was more than just that because it was the connection that we had was on a spiritual level. Okay?
Right.
It really was. You want to talk about that?
Well, being in construction, the foundation is the most important thing. It's the most important thing in anything in life. You have to have a solid foundation. And my solid foundation is through my God, and I'm building on that. And just like you can build a house, but if the foundation isn't solid, the house is going to crumble. At some point, there's going to be, it's going to break. And so, I always think of the foundation of anything and everything when I'm doing something. What's it built upon? And that's what I build my life upon, the solid rock, the spiritual solid rock.
And I could sense that when I met you, because when I moved here to Anchorage, I came here alone. Okay. And I sense your calmness and your willingness to, to receive me. And that meant a lot. It really
Right.
did.
The few times have I just come in and done one odd job, like hanging your TV. That I don't do those. Those are, I mean, I think I've done three or four in the last 5 years, and yours was one of them. And here we are, 3 years later, we're still working together. That's that's cool.
Yeah, right. And I just, the amount of snow also that's on the roof that
Oh,
one year that I moved here. How much snow did we get that year?
last year, yeah, had the whole family come over and shovel. Man, the ice built. Yeah, it was interesting. This was a nice year though. This was a nice reprieve from the last year. Nice, nice.
Yeah, yeah. And I just never thought, that, you coming over to, to install this TV, and then how, our paths became closer, as a result of that.
Right,
And
three
that
years
was,
later,
yeah, right.
still
And
working together.
yeah, yeah. And so to be able to finally finish this project downstairs, and then we can start up here, which I had not planned actually, but I can't, this space is for a rental unit, and I can't let it be better than where I'm living. So we have to definitely upgrade that as well.
One up this one.
Yes, yes. So if you have any advice to give your younger self, what would you say?
Um, well, okay. Advice to give myself: I'd be more diligent. I'd be more focused on my family. There's plenty enough time for work and family, and I've squandered a lot of time and a lot of resources and a lot of opportunities that uh, I would not do again if I had the opportunity to do it again. I mean, the choices that I've made have brought me where I am, and I don't know that I would change them because I wouldn't be here. I'd probably be somewhere else.
Okay.
But I'm here. I'm glad I'm here. I'm content. I'm not content with myself as a person because there's a lot of growth that needs to happen. Still, um, I'm pushing 60 here. Uh, but yeah, uh, I there's some internal things I would change. Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. So, is there anything else that you would like to share?
Um, um, I can't think of anything. I think you pretty much covered a lot. I mean, there's probably. I mean, I'll think of something as soon as we're done. It always
Well,
happens.
well, Mark. Well, Mark, I really appreciate you, your professionalism, and your patience with me, even your family. I called Andrea over. I'm like, hey, can you guys come over and move some stuff for me, or come and shovel the snow off the roof or clean up the yard for me. You guys have always been there for me, and you have been a blessing. And it just came from you installing a TV
Oh, what
on the wall.
you as well, Margaret. I mean, we've had our our ups and downs. We've had a little bit of ins and outs, but at the end of the day, we're still friends. I mean, you know, you still want me here, and I still want to be here.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Mark, for today's live. And I want to thank John and Tom and everyone that showed up today.
Thank
And
you.
yes, do you guys have any questions or anything that you would like to ask? Well, thank you very much for your time, Mark. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
We'll
Thank
keep
you.
pressing on, keep moving on. All right.
Absolutely. Thanks. All
You
right. Bye
bet.
bye.